Greetings, everybody. This is Serpentine451, and welcome back to another episode of Weeb Warriors. And joining me, as per usual, well, for the past few weeks lately, is Jay. How you doing tonight, Jay?
What's up, guys? Consistency? What? Gasp!
Nani?
I'm here 3 weeks in a row. Wow.
Yep.
This is crazy.
I am thankful for my good friend here to actually stay consistent while Jordan's dealing with his personal issues. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, he says the whole situation's been resolved. He just needs to still catch up.
Well, that's all good, and I'm sure he'll tell me at some point in time. Well, no big deal. As long as he's doing all right, that all of his accounts are safe, it's all good to me. And I can easily let him know about that myself.
Yep. Alright. So.
But let's actually frame this episode a bit differently. So, the soapbox this week is actually going to be a twofer, because Jay and I were talking about this before we recorded here, about two things for the soapbox. One that is going to be we're going to mention from last week's discussion, just to play catch up on, to kind of clear up some...
Yeah, because we did promise last week that we would do a follow-up to the story once we got like the full information, and now
Yes.
the full information is out.
And we've already heard information, and Jay, you've talked about the information behind this here
Yep.
before on your channel, but we can easily just do this on here just to kind of go full circle with it. And then something that I mentioned, it's always fun to point out the idiocies of those in the community, to just really have them pay for their consequences for their own actions.
Listen,
you know.
In the words of my man Lord D. Nuxenor, laugh at toxic people and be wholesome to wholesome people.
Mm-hmm.
Those are words to live by, man. Like,
Well, I wouldn't really call. Well, yeah, you're right. Depending on the situation.
I was gonna say, let's be real here.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Yeah. But still, we will talk about that when the soapbox rolls around, because we need to talk about some idiocy at that point in time.
Yep.
And for this show, we always have to mention and point out the idiocy of people all the damn time. Even its own hosts. Even its own hosts have its moments of stupidity.
Listen, everybody's an idiot to somebody. We just happen to be idiots more frequently than others. It's fine.
And
we accepted it.
We see.
We are self-aware.
I fully admit where I am a huge brain-dead moron. Given how, well... Would you say that I am intelligent, Jay?
Yes.
But I have my moments where I am more of an eccentric and bit of a moron.
That's for sure.
Because smart people, even though we're... Because, Jay, you can attest to this. Smart people may be, like, book smart, but they're not emotionally smart at times.
My mom has told me all the time, like, you are one of the, like, smartest people, you're one of the smartest kids that I've met, but when it comes to common sense, you don't have a lick of it, and it's big facts. It's big facts. I've got a whole honest degree, but when it comes to, like, basic decisions, I'm an idiot.
Well...
Like...
That's just the unfortunate truth in all of our lives, like... Well, we have all room to grow. And some of us kind of take a while to actually grow.
Yeah, no, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you're...
As long as you're not stunting your growth, I think we're all good. That's how stands are formed. That
Exactly.
It's all about your willpower and your just utter tenacity. And if you don't have, well, I, I mean, Holly Joestar had the potential to be a stand user, but since she lives a life where there's no real need for it, she couldn't
Yeah.
control her stand, which surprises me. A lot of people don't really realize that.
Yeah, people give Holly people shit on Holly when when they don't even really pay attention to the fact that Joseph was a great dad. I mean, he was a shitty dad to Josuke, which is why Josuke had the development fighting power. But he was a great dad to Holly. Holly didn't have to worry about anything. She had a very calm and simple life with Joseph and Suzy Q.
Yep, although, to be fair, Joseph cheated when he was a much older man.
Yeah, big facts. I mean, props to you for you still getting out there at that age though. Like, good job, Joseph.
I mean, that man. Oh, because those who've seen part 3, you know that a lot of the younger gals saw that silver fox and like, yep, he slings dick real good.
And I mean, like, Josuke's mom was still thirsty for Joseph, especially like when she thought that Joseph.
Jotaro fucking was annoyed by this whole notion, which makes me like it's hilarious, at least to me, that okay, I think I've told you this before, Jay, even though we're kind of like sidewinding the typical review structure, but we will continue on.
Listen, tangents are part of the podcast. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's
with our usual it's the whole thing about our group, our friend circle. We always get into these fucking tangents and whatnot. But a long while back, I don't recall when exactly. It could have been like 2 to 3 years ago. I came across this video about Jotaro possibly being on the spectrum.
Oh, I could totally see that.
And, I mean, as someone who is on the spectrum himself, I can kind of see it too.
100%. I mean, Jotaro has almost zero emotional intelligence. He doesn't know tact. He doesn't know how to talk to people. He just knows the basics. Okay, this is how you're supposed to treat people who you care about, who are actually good to you, and this is how you treat shitty people. You punch them in the face.
With Star Platinum. And for some ungodly reason, he could still, get bitches when he just curses them out.
I mean, dude, let's be honest here. If you, look at Jotaro. Do you not see
for a 16-year-old, he's beefy as shit.
I was gonna say, do you not see the build on that?
That kid, even though he may have not wanted to slang his dick around, he could have gotten it.
And plus, as a hat connoisseur myself, he has excellent taste in headwear.
Oh, his headwear it's on point. It's great.
I still think his Part 4 outfit's better than his Part 3 one.
I mean,
I know that's a controversial opinion. A lot of people prefer the.
I like the aesthetics of his Part 4 design. I like those aesthetics. I mean, he changes his color palette from black, mostly, to white, reflecting that he's grown, in a way.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think that's real cool.
Although he went to a more combined color scheme when Part 6 rolled around with his daughter.
And also real quick, because Jotaro is my favorite Joestar. I know that's kind of a basic bitch opinion, but one thing that I also really like about Jotaro is my man got a whole ass career. He wasn't just loafing around.
Yeah, this man is a marine biologist.
Exactly.
So, and those of us on the spectrum, have been shown to be very intelligent people.
Because that's the thing, right? If you look at Jotaro's character and like a lot of like how he reacts to things, he has very single-minded interest, which is a very like key hallmark of being on the spectrum.
Hell,
and one of the interests he had was marine life and shit like that. So it makes a lot of sense that like the career he goes after is a marine biologist.
You talk to me on a semi-regular basis, so you get to hear me talking about my interests ad nauseum.
Listen, I love talking to people like that are very passionate and obsessive about their interests because it leads to interesting discussion.
Like, dude,
you know, and as someone with several friends on the spectrum, like Tony included, you know, I think me and Jotaro would have been bros. I would have definitely.
Hell yeah! Even though interestingly enough, and this may say a lot about me and how I kind of view things. Coincidentally, is with my favorite Joestar being Joseph, just as a character.
So you're counting both. You're counting both 2 and 4.
My first I count all aspects of Joseph. So
right, cool,
just
cool.
him as a character overall, from the time he was young till to part 4, where he's just even funnier because he's a senile old bastard.
He's
and it's
way
comedy.
funnier in
And
part 4.
It's just, for me, Joseph, to me, kind of exemplifies the kind of character traits I like in my protagonists. I like protagonists in a way that are just comical, but still very capable.
Yeah, and also I think the thing that's very interesting about Joseph, as opposed to his grandfather, because, you know, Araki was still trying to find his footing when creating characters, and so, of course, being the time that it came out, around like the late 80s, early 90s, Araki was kind of borrowing from the whole Fist of the North Star Baki kind of trend, and so he made Joseph the, you know, archetypal shonen hero, you know, stands for good and justice and is completely like a moral perfection. You know, he's the perfect
Jonathan
hero.
Whereas
Joseph.
Jonathan is the personification of all that is good and righteous, which makes sense because he's an English gentleman. Well, very
Joseph,
stereotypically English gentleman, but still.
Yeah, I was gonna say, whereas Joseph is a New York street punk. A lot of people forget he's from New York.
Yeah.
He's a New York street punk.
And if you could tell by the time his story starts, he whips hoes with unconventional tactics, and that's another thing I love about Joseph.
He's a lot more strategic. The beginning of like part 2 was when Araki really started to figure out. He's like, no, I can make it more complicated, and let me just punch you. Joseph was very tactical and, like Tony said, unconventional with his methods and his application of Hamon.
Yep, and one thing that I always look to is how, much like you said, Jay, he would implement his Hamon skills in very unique ways. And how he was always a few steps ahead of his opponents. Even Cars, the perfect life form, where he figured out a way to defeat Cars, albeit in such a way that it didn't destroy Cars, because it's impossible to.
Yeah.
And I love that about... So, JoJo just exemplified... with Jay's favorite Joestar, it exemplifies a certain character archetype used to make a character who is very different.
I mean, what I like, Jotaro is like my favorite type of character archetype. You know, the person like, and this is why I'm a huge fan of Yu Yu Hakusho, because Yusuke also implements his character type really well. The delinquent with a heart of gold. That is what Jotaro is. He is a street punk. He is somebody who you do not want to fuck with and who will fuck you up within a moment's notice. But if you're his friend, if he loves you, he might not say it out loud, but he will go punch a motherfucker in the face.
Yep, he's just more of a stoic badass that actually cares. I mean, part 6 is his whole...
And that's why I don't like... And that's why I don't like a lot of the arguments against Jotaro. And I mean, you know, fans can have their own opinions, and I'm not gonna say you're wrong or whatever. But people always like to jump on Jotaro and say, "Oh, Jotaro's boring. He doesn't really show emotion." I think the interesting thing about Jotaro is that, unlike his grandfather, who was his main father figure in his life, Jotaro is very much a reserved individual, and so yeah, he doesn't show emotion, and he seems kind of stoic, robotic, monotone, all these things that people throw at him. But it just means that the moments where you see that little sliver, they're a lot more impactful, right?
Yeah.
When you see him react to Kakyuin's death, and his whole squad getting wrecked, and him just tapping into the power and pulling through. Yes, the whole Zawardo thing with Star Platinum is an ass pull. I'm not gonna argue that, but with Jotaro's character arc and journey, it fits. I'm not saying it makes sense, but it fits.
Actually, it does make sense, because think of it like this, Jay. Jonathan's body pretty much sent out a distress signal to all of the Joestar bloodline. And because Hammond Beat really makes this case about debunking Araki Forgots, which I highly recommend you check out, because it's very interesting when you look at it.
I've heard great things about it. I'm definitely going to look into it more.
And when he talks about in part 3 that Star Platinum having the ability of the world was essentially a gift to kind of counter Dio, to really make sure that he's put down for good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an ass pull in the biggest sense. It's
yeah,
actually
because when you put it like that, because stands are a manifestation of the person's willpower, but also the physical body and the makeup of the person does play a part in it. And Jonathan is as much a part of Dio in this form as Dio himself. So
yes, and also think of it like this, Shay. Jonathan's stand and Joseph's stand are essentially the same but with different effects.
Mm-hmm.
And you can basically say that it's... you can say that Hermit Purple, or in Jonathan's case, his stands, they're all connected to Haman.
Yeah, true.
Because if stand users were around in parts 1 and 2, you could see the vines of Hermit Purple around Joseph.
And I mean, you get a good case for that in the alternate universe as well, with Steel Ball Run and Johnny's stand having a very similar structure.
Actually, the spin Gyro, his steel balls actually have Ball Breaker, and that's essentially the concept that Araki played with Haman and stands in the main universe.
Mm-hmm.
He just really made it poignant in the alternate universe with Steel Ball Run. And I think Gyro was the pinnacle of his character creation when it comes to the Zappellis, because
he is definitely my favorite Zappelli, but the Zappelli family overall is pretty fucking dope.
But anyway, we've talked about interesting things about JoJo for about 20 minutes. We still haven't got to reviews.
Hey man, look, JoJo is one of those things we just talked about, like being able to talk obsessively about things we're passionate about. JoJo franchises, man. I might be like a relatively like late addition to the fandom. I only got into it like maybe in like 2009-ish, 2010. But yo, it's one of my favorite franchises.
Hell, it gave me one of my favorite characters in Joseph Joestar, so I'm not going to complain that, even though relatively I've been a fan of the series a much shorter time than you. But still, I would I take...
Yeah, and I mean, like, and the cool thing about JoJo's is that, like, it's a love letter to a lot of different genres of things. Very similar to, like, a Dragon Ball, in a sense. Toriyama puts his love for sci-fi, movies, and pop culture all throughout Dragon Ball. And Araki does the same. But, like, the big thing, of course, is with music. And as, you know, someone who is a huge music nerd, this series just was amazing. And plus, like, both Hamon and Stans are, you know, collectively one of my favorite power systems, right up there with Hunter x Hunter's Nen. So,
yeah, and also the Spin and Stans in the alternate universe actually, like, Stans in general, on top of that, are very fun and unique because they really connect to their Stan users very well. And the song or artists or entire album in most cases of the thing they're named after. Like
I think that's the coolest part, is like breaking down like the thematics of the stands, which is why I like a lot of like X-Force videos.
Oh, X-Force and Medi actually do.
We talked about.
And Medi Not the Bad Guy, he actually does a lot of breakdowns in his.
Yeah, I
the
love
beauty
of
or the glory of.
Yeah, Medi Not the Bad Guy's like stand breakdown series is amazing.
Actually, it's because of Medi that I was introduced to my favorite JoJo story of all time, which is Shameless Purple Haze.
Dude, yeah, the Fugo light novel, that shit was great.
And it gave me one of my favorite villain stands of all time, which I should have mentioned this before, because I was talking to a new friend of mine who's on the spectrum, and she's from Colombia, and she asked me what were some of my favorite villains. And I forgot to mention Massimo Volpe.
Oh yeah, Volpe is pretty fucking dope.
And his stand,
Manic Feedback?
It's personally one of my favorite stories. It has...
Purple Haze Feedback was so cool. I was glad that we got to see Fugo's full potential.
Yeah, and, well, with Shameless Purple Haze, I honestly think that Volpe was the perfect villain to really introduce in JoJo. Because Medi actually put it well when he did his stand analysis on manic depression. And which also connected to Volpe's character. How he was very apathetic. And even though it was based on the song by Jimi Hendrix, much like a lot of Purple Haze Feedback's stands were. Yeah, they all were, actually.
Yep.
But, anywho, it also, coming from someone who has manic depression, it actually makes sense for the stand's ability to actually really cause the effects that it does. And also the design of it, once you really think about it, is creepy as shit.
For sure.
That it's just the inverse of his brother Tonio's stand's power.
And I thought that was cool.
And even though it's not written by Araki, but it's very fitting of Araki's style. Kadono did his homework and created a fantastic story set in Araki's world. But anyway, let's actually get to these reviews here. I'll make them quick and snappy for...
This long JoJo tangent does serve a purpose in this podcast. We did not just talk about JoJo for no reason. We'll get there, though.
Yep. We will get to that at the end here, so don't worry about it, folks. Because, you know us, we can talk about dumb shit all we want. But, let's get to the biscuits here. Exeros, nothing really changed. So, Jay, all you need to know, just to catch up on things, the most recent episode, as of this recording, episode 7, we are introduced to the 2 members of the Tokyo branch, which their names are coincide with the colors purple and green. And green is pretty damn thick.
Nice.
And purple ends up crushing on our boy Reto. Because apparently she suffers from this condition where she gets aroused too quickly when people touch her. And she's very self-conscious about who touches her that can get her off. Because she hates the fact that her body wants her to be perpetually horny all the time. I mean, it's a legitimate...
So she's like physically horny on me.
Yeah, so it's something that... And I mean, it's an actual thing that happens to people.
Oh yeah, no, I figured.
Yeah, I mean, they use it for, like, the fan service aspect, as they do. Because this show is fucking nuts with its fucking fan service.
Yeah, no, that's something that I'm looking forward to, and I think it's going to be hilarious.
And also, I will warn you, episode 7 has a one-character harem where it's a bit questionable, and I hate it.
Yeah, is that the one that made Jordan quit?
Jordan hates, the newest addition to the team as of episode 6 or 5. No, it was episode 5. I remember this because when we talked about it, oh my fucking god. It's like, I fucking hate her. I don't mention her in my presence.
Nice. That means I'm gonna like this character.
Oh my god.
Usually if Jordan has that kind of reaction, that means that I'm going to like it. If anything, just to spite him.
Oh, we always do things to spite Jordan. But...
It's fun.
It's pretty damn funny. But luckily, they only had a 7.5 out this week, but I ain't gonna talk about no clip show like I've done in the past. I'm tired of that shit. And as for Misfit, with episode 8, they wrapped up this current arc with Flex Modius and Ray fighting each other in the Magic Sword tournament.
Okay.
And he just decides, you know what? I'm going to break the restraint that this evil entity has on you. Bet, you're free. Because Ray is actually half spirit. So he's half demon, half spirit. Much like another character you'll be introduced to, if not already.
Okay, interesting.
Well, much later on, and you'll know when you see it. And the whole crux of this story for this episode is rescuing Ray's mother from her spirit disease.
Gotcha.
And pretty much returning the the 7 great demon emperors back to Fleximodius' control.
Oh, so he's got new minions. go.
Well, it's basic. All you need to know, Jay, without spoiling a whole lot of it, is that the emperors are being manipulated in various ways. Like having their root origins fucked with, or in the case of this one, essentially possessed.
Interesting.
And the person involved took Anos's name, but bastardized it to kind of erase him from history.
Oh, so that's why so many people are like reluctant to believe that he's the actual reincarnation.
Yes.
Okay, so it's just massive propaganda.
Mm-hmm. And but for all intents and purposes for the episode review, and I'm sure you'll see it later, Jay, so it's not like a complete spoiler because Flexmonius and Ray save his mom and just do great shit.
Nice.
So it's all good in the neighborhood. And hell, fucking Sasha, even though she ain't packing a whole lot, she can be pretty clean. I'll give you that.
I actually really like Sasha's character design.
With her,
I recently just met her as to where I'm at. Like, I've only seen the first three, or at least like half of three. So yeah, Sasha.
Oh no,
Sasha's
no,
good.
no, 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 no! I'll tell you. You may like her character design with her twin tails up. She's actually more gorgeous with her hair down with like a small side ponytail.
I love the side ponytail.
Well, it's more like she has like a hair tie at the end of her hair, but styled to one side. It's just down to one side, tied at the end with a hair tie.
Yeah, no, I love the side ponytail. That's why I'm a big fan of Summer John's second Ascension arc.
But
Yeah,
it's fucking gorgeous. I mean,
nice, good shit.
She'd be fire, literally. And with Monster Girl Doctor, you said you are at episode 2, correct? Or past episode 2?
I am. That's the one that's the one I've put the least effort in catching up on.
But actually, you're missing out on some great character shit.
No, I've heard great things because I've been tuning into Lord Ashura's streams, and we've been talking anime and stuff, and he was really singing the praises of the show. So like,
and Jordan and I are singing the praises of this show too, because Jordan got his wish to see his Arachne girl. We get to be introduced fully to our Spider Girl in this episode. And she went down to the Harpy Village just because she wants to see half Phoenix's feathers. Because she wants to get inspired to actually make more outfits.
Oh, cool.
And she is a slave to her own aesthetics. She's the one that actually designed Safi's clothes. And her and Safi are best friends.
Oh, that's a dynamic. Nice.
And we got to see more of Safi's characterization in this episode too. So her whole thing with Glenn.
Yeah, where she's like the super jealous type, and she doesn't like the other girls thirsting over him and stuff.
Yeah, and it's really prevalent in this episode where everyone pretty much calls him thick-headed, which he actually is a bit thick-headed.
Oh,
But he's more focused on being a doctor and just helping people.
I was gonna say, I don't think it's like thick-headedness per se, more so than like he's single-minded and has tunnel vision when he's in work mode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
at least from what I've got from the pilot, because again, I've only seen the pilot and the.
And that's how he is pretty much throughout. I mean, when you have there's a moment in this episode where Trish actually points, talks to the Arachne, because her name escapes me at the present moment, or how to pronounce it. They have this discussion about how she actually, honest to God, cares about Glenn, and she's attracted to him, that she would do anything for him. And then the Arachne just kind of counters like, well, if you weren't an heiress that needed someone for proper breeding, you wouldn't give a damn about him in the first place. And then she went to this existential crisis about, what about Kay and Lorna? What would they do? Oh, I'll tell you, Jay, those two hoes be thirsting.
Are you talking about transportation Hime is like two assistants?
Yeah, you get more of their characters in the Harpy Village. Because they really, really want Glenn to hook up with Trish here. Cause I think I told you this before. Cause they're willing to get digged down by him. Cause they would technically be in his service too, if he were to ever marry Trish or Transportation Hime.
Gotcha.
And they would do anything to, like, serve his lust or whatever. Because they be thirsting, like I said.
That's true loyalty right
Thirsting.
That's true loyalty. Respect that. No, don't worry. Don't worry, I do plan on catching up on Monster Girl Doctor.
The best part about this episode, though, Jay. The best part about this episode. I gotta tell you this.
Okay.
And I'm really, like, simplifying this just so you can watch this episode to really get the idea of what I'm trying to lay down here. Because a lot of the episode is just Safi kind of being very lethargic for the most part. And just really in her own head that she feels anxious. She feels scared that Glenn, someone who she cares about quite a bit, is going to be taken away from her. And that she's just this bundle, like this mess. How her friend is just trying to do her damnedest to help out Safi to get with the guy that she's into. And Glenn actually being a good guy, being the man that he is, he says, because when Sophie was just opening her heart more, Glenn, because they were also drinking, Glenn said to her, and I love this about his character, there is no one else I would rather share a drink with than you.
Aww. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, you know what? He actually does care about her. I mean, she was essentially a prisoner in his own family house, but he actually did care about her. It's connected to her. It's connected to her backstory, Jay. You'll understand.
No, I figured as much. That's super wholesome. No, like I said, I plan on getting into that, and with that description, I'm definitely more incentivized to.
Yeah, and Safi, I look at her and I'm thinking, I sympathize with you so much that a lot of the girls that we've been introduced to so far have been cute, adorable, or just plain, well, questionable in terms of, like, motivation. Or just really fucking thick. But...
So you're saying they get riches. Gotcha.
Yep, big bitches get riches. Well, in the Arachne's case, she makes her own clothing line, because she has her own empire, fam.
That's a cool-ass concept. A spider girl, a fashion designer.
Yep. And she be thick, bro. She'd be thick.
I'm sure. I mean, I am perpetually terrified of spiders, but maybe it'll change.
Oh no, she has this sultry voice. But the one thing you will notice, point blank, is that tits bigger than my head.
Nice, nice.
Like I said, thick.
Very, very enticing.
I'm going to really stress this. Thick.
Alright, gotcha.
But other than that...
I actually needed more character candidates, because I do plan on, at the end of the season, I'm going to start a new video series on my channel called Battle for Best Girl, and each season I'm going to choose who I believe is the best girl of the season.
Oh, I definitely would put I would put Safi in my hat for this season here.
Nice. So far, right now, I'm definitely feeling Chizuru. Chizuru's up there for me.
Chizuru who... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Chizuru is definitely up there for me. Because I'm only including characters from the new series from this season, because I feel like sequel series I have personal bias towards, because, I already have...
You're already exposed to those waifus.
Yeah, so, I'm only using the waifus from the new shows from the current season.
Well,
so,
I'm
yeah.
essentially using a similar structure for the Harem Chronicles, just kind of measuring some things about relationship compatibility, all this nonsense, but even though it's not quite the same, aesthetically it's the same.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun series to do. I'm very excited to do it, and I also have a rant. I also have a rant prepared because I have a whole section on why mommy is not best girl. She is a fucking demon. And when we talk about Rent a Girlfriend, now that I'm caught up and I can give all my feelings, I have stuff to say.
Since we're pretty much done talking about it, I will harp on you to watch Monster Girl Doctor, and I want you to see the wholesome, good waifu of Safi.
Alright, I will do. I will put that higher on my priority list. Because you spoke so well of it, and I've heard good things from my other friends, like Lord Ashura and, other people that I've talked to around the anime community.
Yep, Safi is good waifu. Good waifu.
Alright. I'm always here for good civ. Always here for good civ.
Yep. And plus, aesthetically, she's an albino snake. And
I do like my snack women.
And as someone who loves his reptiles, good snake, good snack.
All right, so yeah, let's talk about Rent a Girlfriend, because I am fully caught up now. So
all right, Jay.
I got shit to say.
Spout your nonsense before we actually get to this episode here.
Okay, so first of all, kudos to Jordan for recommending this one. Like we said last time, this is a big surprise for me that Jordan recommended it, because Jordan's usually not into the romance genre, mostly because Jordan doesn't like anime that are more reflective of real life, because he uses anime as more of an escapism. So he likes the more fantastical type of stuff that aren't as relatable, which is perfectly fine. That's a viable reason. I get it. So when he actually recommended this, that shocked me. But so I'm fully caught up now, and I have shit to say. So first off, Chizuru, like I said earlier, is definitely a high contender for best girl of the season candidate for me. Mostly because I really relate to Chizuru. I empathize with her a lot. She and I are very similar personality-wise, so I just think she's really cool. And plus, her design is just, chef's kiss. Absolutely beautiful. In her, Chizuru full persona with the makeup and everything, and her dressed down look. Just fantastic. we'll get to Ruka when we talk about this week's episode. Ruka's great as well, but let me talk about this bitch, Mommy. Mommy, Mommy, Mommy. That is not a girl, okay? That is not a girl. That is not a woman. That right there, that's a demon. And I'm not talking sexy anime demon Rias Gremry or Ichideki Seki girl. I'm talking ruin your life for no reason demon. She is the type of ex that you have that when you're happy and good in a situation, everything's stable now, you're in a good place, everything's going great with your life, this one girl will shoot you a text message because she sees you're happy, and she'll send you just one message, and maybe even do something crazy, like attach a picture or a video, and you're just like, nope, not today, Satan. Be gone. I wash my hands of you. You will not ruin me today. I refuse. And the fact that this man is still simping over this demon, I can't support it. I have been here, man. You do not want to simp for the demon. Demon no good. Let me put it in simple terms. Demon no good. Don't do it. It'll ruin your life, and you will have nothing but regrets. Do not live your life that way.
Or don't be simping so hard.
Or don't be simping for the wrong one. It's cool for the right one. Don't simp for the demon.
It's like, if your friends tell you that you're simping way too hard on one chick that just did you dirty,
exactly.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. And yo, for real though, Tony, you've seen this bitch's actions. She was out here ready to get dicked down by the pool just so that she could prove a point and ruin her, purposefully ruin his relationship with Chizuru. Even though the relationship was fake, she didn't know that. She just wanted to ruin it. That's the type of person she is.
Yeah, I mean, I am aware. I saw the episode. Hell, I saw it in the source material, in the fucking manga.
She's a demon, I tells you. A fucking demon.
This hoe wants to ruin lives.
Look, nobody ever, and I hate that I've seen around the fan community that people are actually she's cute. She ain't cute. Ain't nothing cute about this.
I mean, let's think of it like this. She may look cute, but in all honesty, she ain't cute.
Nope, she ain't cute. Look, if you're talking in a strictly design sense, alright, I might be able to give you a pass there. But she ain't cute if we're talking full package. Nope, she ain't cute at all. Also, I just love the development of the dynamic relationship and friendship between Chizuru and, what's his name?
Kazuya.
Sasaki? Sakurai? No, Sakurai is the Uzaki-Chan.
It's Kazuya.
Kazuya. Okay, yeah, Kazuya. I love the dynamic between Kazuya and Chizuru. It's really sweet, and, it's cliche, sure. This whole concept is very cliche. He ends up falling for his rental girlfriend, and she also is harboring secret feelings too. And eventually they're gonna get together.
Cause she be a soon bitch. I love my soon bitches.
Oh, I love tsundere. That's why I'm all about this. And even if it is predictable, I'm really enjoying the journey.
Yep. And Jay, you know my love of soon bitches.
That's what I'm saying. Not everything has to be genre breaking to be enjoyable.
Exactly.
You can have something that's follows a tried and true path and still be a fun time. And Rent a Girlfriend definitely does that and uses the tropes and cliches very well, in my opinion. And plus, just aesthetically, it's just really, really pretty.
Trust me, the character designs from the manga are good, just still pictures. But when you see them in movement, in that art style, fucking clean. Perfect.
Also, this anime has probably my favorite side characters of the season. Like, Kazuya's grandma is the best, and the fact that she plays Azure Lane and complains about gacha rates and, like, the fact that all her ships were sunk, that's pretty hilarious.
It speaks
I
to-
myself
it
have
speaks
never
to
played
us.
Azure
It's-
Lane because I already have a gacha hell that I'm, deep into, and I don't need boat waifus. Although some of those boat waifu designs are pretty fucking great, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, we can't go wrong with just waifus in general, man.
Yeah, no, big facts, big facts.
Because,
But yeah, no,
it can be boat waifus, it can be historical and mythical figures, it could be our favorite characters from a game series we enjoy. Or hell, it can even be fucking soda cans. We love our waifus.
or the Earth. Let's not forget Earth-chan. Earth-chan is
Earth-chan?
great.
Oh my god, fucking Earth-chan. She ain't flat. She ain't flat.
No, she is not. Yeah. Back to Rent-A-Girlfriend, though. Like I'm saying, man, Chizuru, she just continues to show that she is the fucking best. My favorite episode still is the, what I call the water rescue episode. Where, she ends up getting sick and falling off the ferry, and then, Kazuya saves her, but then, after expending all his, strength to save her, he ends up passing out, so she has to bring him back, so they save each other. It's super sweet.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, because he's not that great of a swimmer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that was really nice. I liked that, and I loved the grandmas playing matchmaker with the hot spring episode. I thought that was adorable, and also just the really nice moment of where Kazuya's gonna be a gentleman. Is like, look, we're not actually dating. I don't be weird for you if we slept in the same room, but she's showing a little bit of her feelings, just a little bit. She's like, no. It's stupid if you sleep in the hallway. You can sleep here. It's fine. Pretending like it's no big deal, but you know what she wants. You know she's happy. You know she's happy about it.
Come on. If anything,
she
may not be.
And that's what I like about Chizuru, right? She's a very good balance of Soon and Dere. She's not overly violent with Kazuya, but also she's not like obviously lovey-dovey and he's oblivious to it. She's very subtle, which is why it's harder for him to catch those moments, which I appreciate, because I really hate when the harem protagonist, the tsundere chick is more Dere than Soon, and she's like super lovey around him, but yet somehow this dipshit doesn't know.
Trust me, bro. As someone who knows the harem genre like the back of both of his hands, actually, I hate this trope more than you.
Sure, I'm sure, but yeah, I appreciate that. That's why, that's one of the reasons I think Chizuru ranks so highly for me, because she's right up there with some of my top favorite tsunderes, with that, Soon and Dere balance. I will forever stand that, my favorite waifu in all of the Fate franchise, Rin Tosaka, is top tsundere of that particular franchise.
Oh, no. I will agree with you there, but I will do you one better.
Okay.
She is in my top 5 tsunderes.
Oh, 100%. Same here.
Top
Same
5.
Here.
For me, in my personal placement, she's at least 2 or 3.
Yep. And that's not even counting Rin faces. If we're talking Rin faces, oh man. Oh boy.
No. I will tell you. Oh, I sent you a picture of something that's really funny, even though you don't play Fire Emblem. I sent you a picture of Rin combined with another character from...
Oh yeah, I did see that, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you don't know who the character she's fused with is, but you can... I sent it to you because you'd like the aesthetics.
Oh, 100%. I'm a Tosaka fan till the day I die. So anything that involves Rin, I will approve of.
And just with that image alone, I'm like, yes, be a slave to the aesthetics.
But yeah, so now that I've like gotten my overall feelings on catch up with Rent a Girlfriend out of the way, let's talk about this week's episode and our newest adorable blue-haired waifu, Ruka-chan.
Oh God, Ruka.
She's
I mean,
adorable.
this girl. I look at her and I'm like, yep, fucking adorable. And when I was introduced,
she's a sweet little baby, man. Like, she's new to the game. She's clearly like younger than them, still of age, but younger than them. And she doesn't have as much experience. She doesn't really know how this works.
oh,
So
and plus,
so,
the ED shows a little bit of her backstory, actually.
yeah, and that pretty much pieces together. Like, even if you've never read the source material, which I'm actually slowly catching up on in the background because like I'm very interested in this series. I've gotten to that part, so I know her backstory with her heart condition. But I love that the ED actually shows that off before we get to there. It shows that like she has a heart condition basically where her heartbeat is like really, 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 really low. And Kazuya was actually the first person to elevate it past 90 BPMs, which she mentions before in the episode. And because he's the first person to ever literally, he is the first person to make her Koro go Doki Doki.
Oh God, bro,
Like,
that was cringe. That was so cringe,
I know
bro.
it was. Look, I know
Bro.
it was, but look, this. You get what you pay for, man.
Yeah, I mean,
It's literally what happened, man.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just pointing out, like, bro, that was cringe.
Oh, look, you've known me for years. Yes, I'm a very smooth individual most of the time, but there's also parts of me that enjoys the cringe. It's fun. It's fun. I embrace it.
Yeah, I know you embrace being a cringe lord. That's why I poke fun at you all the time. It's great.
Listen, we can't stay in shoujo protagonist mode 100% of the time. That's only 80% of my personality. Okay, the other 20% is cringe.
You know what's funny? I kind of see myself as like a, because there can be tsunderes in any, like, it could be in harems and reverse harems.
Yep.
Many years ago, I came to this conclusion where I'm a male soon. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah. No, I'm definitely the male equivalent of a Yankee girl.
Yeah, yeah. And the funniest damn thing that I came to this conclusion, I'd be like, because you and I both read shoujo manga that piques our interest.
Quite a bit. Yeah, quite a bit. Yes.
And would you really? Okay, we know the genre a bit, and for those of you who are laughing, hey, don't judge. I like my cheesy romances as much as the next person.
I was gonna say, men enjoy shoujo just as much as women do, maybe sometimes even more so.
Yeah, we love our romance.
And plus, like, let's be real here. The shoujo character designs for both the men and the women are absolutely stunning.
Yes.
Like,
and even though the shoujo protagonists are not that well endowed, but they're still good characters. Hell, one of my favorite soons comes from a shoujo manga / anime, who's voiced by Monica Rial, is one of my favorite characters and one of my favorite soons of all time.
And that's why I enjoy the shoujo genre in general. Which,
But
Rent a Girlfriend kind of
back to my point is that I'd be like that, not the lead, but the like other male character that just comes in to just drive a wedge in the relationship between the shoujo protagonist and her main love interest.
You know what's funny? So, this is a little bit of a side tangent. So, my girlfriend, she was curious, so she asked me to take the Myers-Briggs personality test. You know, one of the quintessential like psychological personality tests. It's widely used and
I've
really
taken
accepted.
that before, if I recall correctly. Yes, I have.
So
Yes, I have.
yeah, so anyway, she is an INFP, which is an introvert personality, and I don't remember what it was called. I think it's like the mediator or whatever. So I took the quiz. I took the test. I had taken it before, but I had forgotten my results. I had taken it in school, but I didn't remember what I got. So I took it again, and I ended up getting ENFJ. Do you know what the title for ENFJ is, Tony?
No.
It is, and I shit you not, this is literally what it is, the protagonist. So I am legit a protagonist.
Oh my god. That's fucking hilarious. That's brilliant.
That explains why I'm so good at Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes. I can literally pull protag power out my ass.
Well, as for me, I kind of feel like if I were to take the test, it just really would have to depend the mood that I'm in. Because in a general sense,
definitely can agree with that.
in a general sense, I mean, you see my personality pretty much on a regular basis.
Yeah, for sure.
In that, for the most part, you can say that I'm usually a laid-back individual.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'll vouch for that.
Yeah,
Check it out.
but for the most part, yes, I can be a bit crass and a bit, well, terse in a lot of ways. And I just have
that's a nicer way to put it. Yeah.
well, and it all stems from me just the best way that I can explain it, just the way for myself, is that when I feel more comfortable, I don't really care for the most part, because as long as I'm aware of my own wrongdoings, I can just let my hair down emotionally around the people I care about,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
To get us back on track though,
Yes, but
with Ruka, I really enjoy her character because again she has this very much like naivete, young love approach to Kazuya.
and the best thing, because we can actually look at the episode itself here to kind of follow this trajectory. She has this app on her phone that checks her pulse when it comes
Heartbeat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
pulse, heartbeat, whichever you want to describe it as. And when Kazuya was around initially, it was at 79%, or at 79, like beats per minute.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to get a clearer picture, and so she essentially became the rental girlfriend of his friend Curry. I mean, this man.
I'm not gonna lie. I felt real bad for Curry because like she ain't have to do him like that.
Yeah, I looked at him like, yo, you did him real dirty.
She exposed him in front of the homie. Like that's not cool.
I mean, sure, the homie was doing the exact same thing.
No, well, yeah, okay, and I mean I get that, but also he's not aware that the homie was doing the exact same thing. In his perspective, you know, his homie who bagged himself, like, you know,
this hot ass chick.
Yeah, now he feels like a total loser in comparison. And like, yo, that's not cool.
I mean, at least Kazuya tried to put forth the after, like, hey, bro, I have a rental girlfriend too. It's gonna be good. It's okay.
And I did appreciate that was the first thing that Kazuya, like, suggested to, like, clear up the whole situation. Because here's another reason I like Rent a Girlfriend a lot. Kazuya is actually an intelligent and emotionally mature harem protagonist. for the most part. Now, obviously, he makes dumb decisions.
I mean, he's a young college kid.
Sense for, yeah, I was gonna say there's dumb decisions that make sense for his age and the time of life that he's in right now, and the situation that he finds himself in. So, like, none of those decisions, even if they're dumb for him, they aren't illogical if you put yourself in his perspective. So, like, that's what I really like about Kazuya. And,
let's be real.
in a lot of other harem shows, it's like, the protagonist is one of those guys who is just kind of the best guy ever, and everybody and all the girls just suddenly get wet for him. But, like,
or you just look at the fucker. They look at the fucker and they say, "Oh, he's hotter than a bonfire. I want to try to fuck him." Like, he does nothing, fucking nothing, and still girls want to dick him down.
Yeah, those are the ones I hate the most. But yeah, that's what I really appreciate about Kazuya is that he's genuinely a good guy, and not in a like r/nice guys kind of way. No, he just treats people like people, and like that's. I mean, it's kind of sad that treating people like people is like not expected nowadays. But
I mean, I try to treat people like decent human beings when I can.
But yeah, that's what I really like, and like once Ruka got a good picture of that, because like that's what made her interested in Kazuya in the first place. It's because she heard the story from Curry, and then she looks up Chizuru and finds out Chizuru is a rental girlfriend, and it's just like, well, shit, if you treated a rental like this, then you have to treat a regular girlfriend even better by that logic.
I mean, she ain't wrong.
And besides, you touched my boob.
You grabbed Opie.
We're gonna date now. You touched my boob.
But speaking of Opie, one of the shows that rest in peace, interspecies reviewers. But the best part, I gotta tell you this, Jay. I think I told you this before. It's opening song. It is fucking hilarious because they actually spell out Opie.
Yeah,
in the full song.
I did see that.
In the full fucking song, and it's fucking great.
Yeah, it was fantastic, man. Interspecies Reviewers is a misunderstood gem.
Yep. Even though we can't watch the full show, which makes me sad.
I'm not just saying that as a degenerate, okay?
No, I'm saying this as someone who was genuinely interested in seeing this show from... It's just an interesting perspective on the fantasy genre, and plus, hell, I like my monster girls in my degenerate ways at times. And I like the idea of a fantasy world.
Besides the whole degeneracy thing, and I promise this will be the end of the tangent. I went to school to be a sex and relationship therapist, so I'm actually very interested in the different perspectives people have on sex and sexual interactions. And beyond the like borderline hentai and comedy stuff, I think it was really interesting to hear the like actual discussions about sexual preferences, kink shaming, like perception of kinks in this fantasy world.
Oh, trust me, all of the like non-immortal monsters basically saying they would fuck a human old as shit than an elf woman with less magical potential as they age. Oh my god, that shit was fucking hilarious.
Yep, yeah, no, that was great. But yeah, back to Rent-A-Girlfriend though. So Ruka, man, he grabbed her boob on accident. She's just like, well, yeah, we're gonna date now.
Also, the best part, other than the boob grab, he also saved her from falling from a fairly tall height.
Yeah, and also, like, I really enjoy just the back and forth between her and Chizuru, and what I really like about this, it's another subtle thing about Chizuru. Chizuru sees kind of how, like, heart on her sleeve, Ruka is, and I think deep down she's kind of envious of that because she can't just yet openly express how she feels about Kazuya. And she sees her, crying and, begging Kazuya, and she's just like, you know what?
Just give the girl a chance. Just give her a chance. And from the looks of the stinger for the next episode, she's acting like a wholesome little bundle of happiness. And I like that.
Dude, I feel bad for Curry. Poor dude.
Yeah, that man. I mean, I hope to God that
somebody give that man a hug.
Yeah, that man better get a fucking hug, or else. Oh shit! Since Kazuya's starting to date Ruka, what about our other boy?
Oh yeah, Akiba.
He would beat the shit out of him if he found out. Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah, because he's definitely Team Chizuru and Kazuya. Like, so much so to the point where he, literally bought them the ferry tickets. Oh, yeah, Kibe would definitely be pissed. You gotta hide it from him, too.
Yeah, he would whip his ass. I mean, he already whipped his ass when he was initially gonna break up with Chizuru anyway.
Mm-hmm. Which, I don't blame him. Chizuru is still best girl. At least as of right now, within the show's standings at this current point in time. Yep. Ruka is adorable, but she's not at Chizuru level yet.
Yep. And we still haven't met the shy girl.
Yep.
And what her deal is.
Also, speaking of openings, we talked about the interspecies one. The one for Rent-A-Girlfriend is a bop. And,
yeah,
it has one of my favorite anime opening tropes, the waifu dance.
I mean, it has a fun waifu dance.
Exactly. It's great.
And I think I sent you one that's related to some of the fake girls in Astolfo doing it.
Yeah, dude, listen, anything that includes the Stolf is A1 in my book.
Oh, yeah. Best Boy does some great shit.
Yep.
And Umu is in it, so I had to.
Yep. Oh, man.
Because I am, if not a slave, to the Umu.
Exactly. How I feel about Areshki Gull and just Rain in general is Tony's opinion towards Nero.
Yeah, because Umu is best waifu in all of Extra. Don't at me. Tamamo is great, but she's not best waifu.
Ooh, you saying the biting words to certain people, man. Ooh,
well, to be fair, if people actually watch my content, they would be fighting words. But
no, that's fair. But but for real though, the Fox Girl fandom is a pretty strong one.
Bro, I love me some Fox Girls. I'm not gonna lie, Tamamo is cute, but I am, if not a slave, to Nero's aesthetic. I am a slave to her personality. I am a slave to her, just everything. And her Japanese voice actress, mwah, fucking mwah, chef's kiss, everything.
Dude, I am right there with you. Look, I'm a big proponent of Fox Girls, but in this one particular case, and do not kill me, Fate fandom, I love Tamamo as much as the next guy. I was super hyped when I got Cat in my starter role. And, I'm very much looking forward to eventually getting my very own Tamamo no Mai.
Which, I have my own Tamamo.
But I can't also deny the fact that I paid an exorbitant amount of money for a Nero Bride statue because it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And Nero is great.
In Japanese, waifus are good. Japanese Fox Girls are good, aesthetically. Mikan is good. Good waifu. But
Yep, yep.
Once you're a slave to some aesthetics, you just can't. You can't deny how you feel.
Big facts. But also, real quick, so, speaking of aesthetics, I definitely want to talk about this. I love the difference in color scheme between Chizuru and Ruka. If you notice, like, Chizuru wears a lot of brighter colors, but also, like, how she dresses is very much more, like, mature. Not necessarily, like, in the, like, risque sense.
It's
But,
more
like,
like a cutesy mature.
yeah, she's very comfortable, and she knows what she's got, and she knows where to show it off, and that's great.
And it works. It fucking
And
works.
with Ruka, and it's not just in her hair, but she wears a lot of the blues, right? And she has a very much more modest look to her, and it's very much reflective of her, not necessarily like inferiority feelings, but she definitely feels like an outsider, and she's very much down on herself because of her condition, and because she feels literally that her heart doesn't work, and she thinks it's connected to kind of her perception of love because of that whole the general association with love and the heart, in a literal sense. So I think it's really really well done aesthetically, in both the manga and the anime, with just the wardrobe and color choices between these two waifus, and also just to point out Mami again, when she's got those expressions that shows you she is a demon. Do not trust this bitch.
Yeah, but her aesthetic choices as like a smartly dressed waifu who is a hunter. She knows what she can do. She may not have a lot in terms of bustiness, but she's a hunter that can go on the offensive if she wants to.
She has the one thing she has something that's more deadly than looks, though, in terms of dating. She has charm.
Mm-hmm.
You could be an ugly motherfucker, but if you're super charming, you can pull bitches pretty easily. And I say bitches in a unisex term. Men can be bitches too.
If anything, there have been years where I've been a huge bitch.
But look, man, for real, I personally rate myself like a solid 6.5, on the looks attractiveness scale. But because my charm, is
you
much
have
higher.
a charisma skill of at least A rank.
Exactly. Exactly. It's A rank on a bad day, and it's S rank on my good days.
Or it's EX, or in fate terms, on the best days.
Yeah, or in fate terms, EX. Yeah,
you can you admit that you are a fucking hoe, so.
Listen.
You admit to it countless times over the years.
I've belonged to the streets for a good number of years. I'm not gonna front.
So do not front on me, fam. I know it.
No.
But
100%. Jordan can vouch for it too.
But the one thing that I have a lot of respect for, I respect you in the sense that you do have this unparalleled charm, which it has to come out of me in the most natural of ways, where you could just turn it on and you're good. I have to be 100% me, and I have a lot more luck with women when I'm more 100% myself.
And that's the key that everybody really needs to learn, and I think that's really the key that Kazuya needs to learn, right? Is that, and this is what I genuinely tell people all the time.
Oh yeah, I know, and part of me realizes that I'm okay with being myself. When you're first trying to meet somebody, you kind of have to present yourself in a more positive and presentable way.
Mm-hmm.
I know that concept. I understand that concept. But try to start off that is kind of difficult. And I can understand where Kazuya is coming from in this situation. I mean,
yeah, that's definitely
when you
an issue, for sure.
when you, I mean, the first girlfriend he ever had was a cutie. I mean, yeah, she's a demon, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Going back to it, hitting that low point that he did, like, having your heart broken is no fun.
I mean, I relate to that.
And that's why I really appreciate Chizuru, because Chizuru, she is so empathetic and sweet, and she knows the pain he's going through, and which is why, logically speaking, it's definitely not in her best interest to keep letting this man rent her out. She should get the fuck away. This would probably be bad for her business. But she knows that he needs her, and in a weird way, she needs him too. Because it's not just a positive affirmation thing. It's also more you see within their dynamic that
both of them grow when they're together.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that too. And honestly,
and you hit on a very like the perfect point that encapsulates this show. Kind of the key of really being able to unlock your charm, as you put it, right, is just to be perfectly okay with being yourself. And that's why Kazuya and Chizuru are so great, is because Chizuru doesn't have to put on an act around Kazuya. Chizuru can be herself. She doesn't have to be the perfect girlfriend. She can be loud. She can be blunt and aggressive. But because Kazuya knows that's who she is. And even past all that, she's a really sweet, loving girl who will do anything for the people that she cares about. Mm-hmm. Even when she barely knew Kazuya, she stood up for him when the demon was talking shit.
Yeah, true. These are big facts. And I think that I can also relate to Chizuru's whole personality as a whole. Because, I mean, these characters I relate to in various ways. Like, yeah, I've had my heart broken. And I've been in that same headspace Kazuya was. And I'm also the type of person that can be very blunt and to the point, much like Chizuru. So I
just also really appreciate that nowadays romance anime is moving more away from high school, and we're getting more adult romances, because it's more relatable. We're not in high school anymore. We can't really relate to the young love feeling, we used to.
Yeah, we can't relate to the whole puppy love aesthetic. Yeah, we just can't relate anymore.
I mean, look, it's super sweet and it's cute, but once you get to a certain age, you're like, yeah, I remember those times.
Yeah.
They don't exist. They don't exist anymore, but I remember those times.
Yeah. The times that I barely had, yeah, I remember those. They were also pretty painful. Why would I want to remember those?
No. To quote an overly wordy, very overrated writer, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
And who are we talking about again?
Dickens.
Are you saying? Well, you're talking Charles Dickens, that he's overrated. I mean, that's a fair. That's fair.
That's just a personal opinion.
I mean, it's right. You have a right to your own opinion. I mean, most authors don't connect to anybody, really. I mean,
yeah, that's just a personal opinion.
I feel like
he's way too wordy, and people kind of just overhype him for overcomplicating things to the nth degree.
I mean,
no reason
what he was trying to do the things in his life that he was trying to accomplish are commendable. I respect him for that, and a lot of the stories that he made.
Him as a person, I respect and enjoy it. Just him as a writer, it's a whole different opinion.
Yes,
but yeah,
true.
but yeah, so...
And since we're on the topic of college, more adult relationships, let's actually talk about Uzaki-Chan.
All right. So, now that you're caught up, let's reverse this. How are you feeling about Uzaki-Chan?
Well, this bitch be dumb, but she's cute dumb.
She's adorably stupid, and look.
And I wouldn't say that she's stupid. The way I see it, she's smart in her own way, but she's dumb.
She's innocent. She's innocent.
Naive. Let's go with naive. I like naive better.
Yeah, naive. She's definitely naive. Yeah. So. And I definitely.
Our leads here.
If you've watched it, do you agree with my description that
Oh yeah.
I sent you to convince you?
Yeah. The way I see it, I don't watch this show for the leads. I mean, scary face, tall boy, going out, talking to short girl. That's Toradora to me. I'm okay with that. I've seen it before. You just put a more college-age bend to it. I mean, I respect it. And you gave the short girl big opie, so...
Yep. Okay, so...
But, my point. I love the side characters more.
The side characters are absolutely fantastic.
Because like, the master, his daughter, and Sakurai's best friend are
Blondie,
the pinnacle.
Blondie.
Are the pinnacle of this show.
I love the Ami versus Blondie dynamic.
Yes.
Because they're like two different versions of shippers, right? Because like Ami, she's content with letting it happen naturally and watching the relationship develop organically, which is kind of the boat we're all, I would like to say most of the fandom is in, right? And then meanwhile, you got Blondie, who is like, look, man, Sakurai's my bro, and I want to see my bro happy. And judging by how these two act, it's going to take 1 billion years for them to actually get together. So I'm going to just move this along.
I'm just going to nudge it.
And then, of course, Ami is like, no. You've not disturbed the sanctity of this adorable ship. Let it happen and watch like a normal person. And he's like, no. We gotta move it along, otherwise it's just never gonna happen.
Also, I think Ami is best girl. Don't at me.
She's a solid candidate. She's definitely a solid.
She's
candidate.
best girl this show, I'll tell you.
Okay. There's a solid point to be made for that one. I got a soft spot for Uzaki, but like my personal taste, I love short girls. And
short girls are great, but I love girls that can make me laugh. Uzaki doesn't really make me laugh all that much, and
Uzaki makes me laugh a ton.
I mean, short hair aesthetically for me just doesn't do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with girls having short hair. I mean, just like Uzaki aesthetically, she's great, but it's the hair that keeps throwing me off. I mean, she's charming, she's funny, but it's the hair that throws me off. It's always her hair.
I will tell you the one thing that throws me off with Uzaki, aesthetic-wise. I love Uzaki. Personally, she is best girl of the show for me, and honestly, right up there with one of the candidates for best girl of the season right now. Like I said, just for right now. But the one thing that throws me off about her aesthetically, and I've mentioned it before, and I'll keep mentioning it, is the fact that her kawaii thing is the same color as her skin.
Yeah, we talked about this last week, and I'm like, fuck, what the hell?
Yeah, why are you doing this to me? Like, I mean, like, I noticed it, like, in the first episode, and I just can't unsee it. and it bugs me.
Yeah, we all can't unsee it, fam. It's there. It exists.
And so now that you're more familiar with the show, what do you think about this? Twitter being Twitter, and trying to rain on the Uzaki-Chan parade.
Well, I can say Twitter can lick my balls.
Alright.
Twitter can lick my balls. She is an adult. She is 20 as of episode 7.
Yep.
She could be a short queen if she wants to. She may have big tits. She may be adorable. But she's an adult.
There are girls that are like 5 feet tall that are 20 years old.
I'm related to short women. I know this on the daily. So, Twitter, don't at me. It's probably more short bitches. Just more upset.
Yeah, it's probably, honestly, I think it's flat bitches that are upset, to be honest. And look,
No,
flat bitches...
it's the short flat bitches.
And look, short flat bitches, look, you guys deserve love too. You guys are great.
I mean, we have enough short flat bitches in anime. We've seen, most of them are JoJo protagonists. Let's be real here.
Exactly. I was just about to say that.
Let's be real. Y'all have enough. You have your representation. You're good. But, like the members of my family, they are short and they are busty. There's not enough short, busty girls in anime or in all of media because people are adverse to seeing big knockers.
And also, it's hilarious and relatable to well-endowed women because, the scene where she's at the batting cages and she forgets to stretch and she throws her back out because her spine has to hold up so much weight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that was great.
Everything is real. Because, let's be real. Short girls, short flat girls, we love you, we appreciate you, but you're acting stupid. Dudes who are simping hard for the sake of these bitches. Nice guys. All y'all dumb fucks. Quit your simping and just let fun be fun. We don't have to, parade for a cause all the damn time.
She's an adult, people. If this was a lolly situation, I'd totally be with you.
Big facts. Big facts. But she's an adult. I will stress this. She is an adult. She was created as an adult.
She is literally in college, guys. There's no, actually she's not an adult, actually she is. She's literally going to a fucking university. Shut up.
Get the fuck out with that bullshit right there. Right out the window. And all y'all need to learn today that you can just... Twitter, you're toxic as fuck, for the most part, and you can lick my balls.
To wrap up the Uzaki discussion, overall opinions on Uzaki, man. How you
feeling?
And
let's talk episode 7, because that's the whole point of this show. We be reviewing shit.
Yep. Okay, so tell me about the first half of episode 7.
Okay, so from what I can remember, because I was also pretty damn tired throughout the day today, dealing with neck pain and all that stuff. Can barely move my neck anywhere. Because you guys can't see it, but I'm slouching a bit, just so I don't hurt my neck. It's a real pain, brothers and sisters. It is a real pain. But I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm trying to be good. But anyhow, God damn it, Rent-A-Girlfriend. Sakurai. We've seen in previous episodes that he loves cats. And for the first half, a good portion of this episode, he wants to go to a cat cafe. So he calls up our girl, Uzaki, It's like, hey, I need you. Come help me. Come over. And she's like, oh, he's probably gonna, like, say some shit about having feelings for me. Alright, bet. I'm ready. I'm not ready, but I'm ready. So she goes to meet him, and then, like, he points to the cat cafe. And she, like, kicks him repeatedly, like, you fucking asshole. She doesn't say this, but you fucking asshole. I came all the way because I thought we were gonna, like, do shit together, that you're gonna say you love me. But you only get me to come with you because you're timid around cats that you love so much.
Yeah, that sounds very Uzaki. That sounds very, very Uzaki.
Oh, and she straight tortures our man when he actually gets to pet and love on cats. And he's like in heaven. And
that's not...
she's trying to like tell him like, oh, my birthday's on the 7th of August. Which is the same day that an ex-girlfriend of mine has. Uzaki unintentionally reminded me of that.
Oh, damn.
That's some old scars that I'm not gonna get into, but still, it's there. And fuck that bitch.
I feel you.
But anyway, his legs are numb, and so she starts torturing him by poking his feet. And they got kicked out of the cat cafe because Uzaki-Chan was being a bitch.
Damn it, Uzaki.
And
come on, man.
The waitress at the cat cafe thought it was like some weird fetish play.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yep, so Sakurai is probably banned from that particular cat cafe. And on the 7th, Uzaki pulled the same shit on him and invited him to a pub. And that's all I can remember.
Yeah, because I did see the title of the episode at least, because it was being kind of fucky. Funimation was being weird. But I think it wouldn't let me play the episode, maybe because you were watching at the same time and we couldn't watch the same episode at the same time.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. Because depending on the time frame, like if it was throughout the day, yeah, that would have made sense. Because I was having similar issues too, where the page wouldn't respond.
Yeah, so maybe that was it. Maybe we just need to coordinate when we're watching stuff,
yeah,
so that this shit doesn't happen.
Bet. Fucking
okay,
bet.
We'll remember that next time. But yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to watching this episode myself. I am very interested to see what kind of drunk Uzaki is.
I didn't even see that because I was knocked the fuck out.
You know, I'm very excited to see what happens there. But yeah.
Oh,
so,
and then we get, oh my fucking god, then we get to like the most hyped show of the season. Fucking the God of High School. This shit, my brothers and sisters, this shit right here,
I'm telling you, man.
It's
them Korean
good.
fans, the Korean fans don't fuck around.
Yeah, and fucking, we're introduced to a Park. I'm gonna call him, Ippo, because that's
how I thought it was pronounced, Ippo. Yeah, that's how I've always said it. Yeah, so we'll go with Park Ippo. But I also call him Tiger Boy for short.
Well,
because
Ippo here.
Because he wears the tiger jacket.
Ippo here doesn't play around on some shit, fam.
He's a great character, and we also get to see his backstory in this episode. And you know, he's been some rough times, but you know, Grandpa Jin, who was a buddy of his grandpa, actually gave him like a secret scroll of fighting moves and techniques and forms, so that he could become stronger. And because of that, he idolized Grandpa Jin.
Yeah, the grandpas were fucking war buddies. That's some fucking wild shit.
Yep. And like, I love, you say, Joseph is your favorite Joestar, Tony, which leads me to believe 1000% that Grandpa Jin is going to be your favorite character of this entire
Oh,
show.
fuck yeah. The times we've seen him on screen, oh, fuck yeah, this old man is the shit.
He is one of the coolest characters, just period, and it's about to get real interesting.
Yeah, this man's lost an arm. Holy fuck.
No, he does not fuck around, man. It's gonna get real interesting. But yeah, so Ippo, he idolizes Grandpa Jin because Jin was the only person to actually show care towards him and like to see the potential in him. And
yep,
so
and like Ippo here, like his mom stepped out on him when his dad died.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, he was just a wee nipper.
Yep.
Just playing with a toy car when she was just distraught.
She left him at his grandpa's dojo, which is run by his old partner, and his partner's a bit of an ass.
I thought that was an uncle.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the grandpa's dojo. It's the grandpa's dojo, and he's like the oldest son, but he was technically like the partner in the dojo. Also,
so this old uncle was a right old dick.
Yep.
Saying that you don't have potential, you ain't shit.
Yep. But Grandpa Jin believed in him, and he had Baby Mori right there.
Just sleeping.
Baby Mori just chilling.
Just fucking sleeping. And I really like the dynamic between Mori and Ippo. Because these dudes are very similar people, and I like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil too much, for you and the viewers. But they have a very cool, like, brotherly relationship because he kind of used Mori as a little brother because they both have Gramps as a father figure, in their lives. Mm-hmm. So he kind of sees Mori as like a little brother, which is why he's really excited to fight Mori because Mori was trained by Gramps. And so he's like, I really want to see that shit.
Like, I want to see how you fight, bro. And although the best part about
I love how evenly they are, because even in their like little opening sup fight, they kind of had each other on the ropes equally. And he's like, why didn't you finish me off? And then Ippo was like, I could say the same thing to you. And it's just like
one fist to the face and one fucking foot to the back of the head.
Yep. No, that was pretty dope.
Oh, and also that blue-haired motherfucker just came in trying to wreck shit.
Yeah, he tried to use his fucking stand to ruin a nice moment.
And we also learned that fucking Han is suspended for a while.
Yeah, for what he did, defending the maid. Yep.
Oh, and then the one-armed old man. That sage fuck.
Also, we find out some other interesting things about Han. Han is a master chef.
Yeah, because Mira can't cook for shit.
Yep.
I mean, it looks disgusting it looks disgusting, but apparently it's fucking tasty, but it's too damn spicy. Like,
it did look super nasty. Her presentation is mad off.
Yeah, her presentation game is mad off, but like, if she can balance that out, she can do great.
Yeah, but
and fucking Han just goes off on her. It's fucking hilarious.
And I really enjoy that, like, Han is using his skill to basically leverage Q into being his sensei, teaching him how to use stand power.
Like, teach me how to do this shit, and I will fucking cook for you.
For free.
And, I mean, Q pretty much got...
He sees him scrounging around for quarters like a broke boy, and he's like, I know what's up. I got you, fam.
Yep, and also, you know what I really like about this episode in particular, Jay?
Okay.
Mira and Han knew that something was off about Mori. And they both got a message about it being his birthday, and him dealing with the fact that his grandpa, something happened to him,
Mm-hmm.
because Mugen told him what the situation was with his granddad.
Yep. And I really appreciate that because, you know, like, of course, we saw before with Han's episode that Mori does care about his friends, but I don't think he really understood the value of his friends. He just knew that Gramps was like, hey, man, you need to find some friends. Having friends are great. And so he's like, okay, bet. I'll find some friends. These guys seem cool. They're my friends now. But I think it was really this moment in particular when, like, they went out of their way to help their buddy that, like, he realized, this is fucking awesome. I like having friends.
Friends
this is
are
what
great.
you meant, Gramps.
Although Park Mugen and Nox are like, yeah, we're setting up for war here, bitches.
Yep. And, yeah, it's about to get very intense, and we get left on a huge cliffhanger where Mori is left one more birthday present in the form of a mysterious envelope, which gives him a map and a picture of his armless grandpa.
Shayna just making sure that this man does not, like, harm anybody.
Yep. It's about to get real intense, and I'm very excited. But yeah, no, definitely, like, in terms of the shows for this season, God of High School is right up there as just my most anticipated show. Also, it's not on the docket, but I have caught up on Oregairu, or My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu Season 3. Pretty fantastic stuff. We get some good development between the friend group. And,
yeah, I need to, like, actually play Mega Catch Up with that show.
Dude, as someone who is a fan of shoujo material, this is shoujo as fuck. It very much goes into deep character depth, which is, you know, in my opinion, that's the biggest strength of the shoujo series. You know, they focus very deeply on character.
Right, and
you know, a lot of people think that shoujo is just for pretty things, which, you know, is true. But, like, you will not find more character depth in a particular genre more than shoujo, and Oregairu definitely embodies that, especially within our protagonist Hachiman, and you know, his whole development as a character. And I think you would definitely relate to him personally, because he and you have some particular qualities that are similar.
That makes sense. And, well, let's actually get to the soapbox discussion here. Utaku Soapbox 2-parter.
Alright. So yeah, the first one, let's talk about the follow-up first, and then we'll get into the bigger discussion.
Yep.
With the second
As we mentioned last week, something's changing within the past, well, that will change in the next 2 years. Logs, as of right now, is a YouTube channel that is a cooperative effort by a lot of anime studios to put anime on there for free.
Some of them you might not have heard of, like Nippon Animation, or like whatchamacallit, what is the other one? EA Studios. But there are two huge ones that you definitely know of. And one of them being Tezuka Productions, which handles all the anime series that are connected to the works of the father of manga himself, Tezuka Sensei, aka the stuff like Kimba the White Lion, Astro Boy, you know, those works. And Dororo. Dororo was actually a Tezuka creation as well. If you guys remember that one, because they did a recent reboot. I think that was released on Amazon. with the samurai and the little boy.
Yeah, I think so.
But
And
anyway,
Toei
so
Animation, which
yep,
we know
that's
Toei Animation.
I was gonna say, and that's the one that everybody should be excited for because it's motherfucking Toei. Just in case you're not familiar with studios because you don't look into the deeper behind the scenes stuff. Let's give you just a small sample of Toei's catalog. They have Dragon Ball. They have One Piece. They have motherfucking Pokemon. Like, just those three.
And not necessarily
also,
Pokemon, but there are actually other studios that have worked on Pokemon in the past, so...
I mean, I was gonna say, isn't Toei Pokemon though? But I swear, I've seen the Toei logo in some of the movies and shit.
I think it's some movie-related stuff, but it's not necessarily the case.
Oh, okay. I swore all this time that Pokemon.
No, I
also
think Toei Animation does Digimon, I believe.
That might be the confusion. Toei definitely did do Digimon, and I think still does Digimon, because because Digimon currently is in Dragon Ball's old slot. So yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, they do Digimon for sure. And another one of the big '90s Western gateway animes that is famous from Toei is of course Sailor Moon. Speaking of JoJo stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of big potential with this one, and Crunchyroll should be sweating right now because if this is successful and other studios decide to band together and make that bread via YouTube and release anime essentially for free with the addition of ads, Crunchyroll might have their days numbered in terms of subs content. Now, I think services like Funimation will still be around because they're a dub house, and people are always going to want the dubs. But Crunchyroll and High Dive and those other services, they might need to watch out a little bit. So it's going to get very interesting to see where the landscape goes in the next 2 years when it comes stateside. I definitely wish them the best because I think this will help to solve the biggest issue that people have with anime in non-Japanese countries is that you can't afford to pay for 8 different services to get every single show of the season. Someone like my pops literally watches every show that comes out every season, and the only way he can do that is by flying the Jolly Roger. So this service and this system makes a actual complete library, and it'll help severely combat the problems with piracy and support the official release with really not that much investment from the anime community themselves. All you gotta do is watch some commercials. What's the big deal about that? And then if you really don't want to watch commercials, you can do what you were doing with Crunchyroll and just pay for YouTube Premium, and the commercials are gone. So yeah, I think it's an overall positive change. What are your opinions on this whole prospect, Tony?
I really like the idea that this could really be the change that, well, anime as a whole kind of needed. That if we want direct translations, we want things that are on the up and up, that are connected to the adaptations for anime that we wanted.
Yeah, and something that Noble brought up in his video covering the topic, which I definitely recommend you guys check out Noble's video.
It's more revenue for the anime studios themselves.
Yeah, but
it's direct revenue.
The thing that I'm actually the most interested in is I think possibly with this system, we could actually avoid an interspecies reviewer situation.
Definitely.
Because interspecies reviewers was canceled because it was featured on, like, cable networks. And, cable networks were like, well, shit, fam, we can't air something like this. But YouTube, you could literally just put an age restriction on it and be like, oh, you're old enough? Bet. Here you go. Here are some Monster Girl titties.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it's Ohm Inc. That's the studio that does the Pokemon anime.
Okay. Thank you.
And it used to be Oriental Light and Magic.
Oh, that's a cool studio name. It sounds almost like Industrial Light and Magic.
Which is coincidentally, it also says in the Wikipedia article, it says, not to be confused with Industrial Light and Magic.
That's hilarious. But yeah, overall, I think it's really great news. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with you.
All right, now it is hot take time.
Let us begin. Let us begin with this fucking hot take that... okay. Let us preface this...
I want to preface this by saying neither of us have watched the video, and, like we did with the last topic, we'll probably do a follow-up after seeing the video.
Right. But, essentially, one of the members of the anime community can have one of the more, for all intents and purposes, he is pretty toxic. This man being Jeff Thu, professional shitbag, the anime pope himself, Mother's Basement, claiming in one of his videos that you can skip parts in JoJo. And he tells you which parts to skip in JoJo.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't agree with it, and Jay doesn't agree with that.
Yeah, so like we said, we haven't watched the video, so obviously we don't know full context. When we come back next week, we'll have watched the video and we can actually give full opinions. So, disclaimer, our opinions are subject to change if we get the full context and we actually hear his arguments. But, judging by previous videos, where he's, talked about JoJo and, JoJo as a whole, he doesn't talk particularly favorably about parts 1 and 2, which, honestly is pretty understandable. Those were the points where Araki was still trying to find his footing, and he didn't really know solidly in what direction he wanted to go. Those are the early days. Those are pretty shaky times. So this leads us to believe that those 2 parts are the parts that he says you can skip, so that you can go straight into the stand stuff, which, JoJo is most known for, in the modern day. Which I can understand saying that to try and get more people into JoJo, but here's the thing, right? Part 1 and Part 2, while fundamentally different from 3 and onwards, you need them because they are the foundation of the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are very much by the book. They're not as high octane or, unpredictable as 3 and onwards. But these foundations set the framework for the entirety of the, we'll refer to it as the Dio saga, right? And Dio himself is, at this point, a damn near god figure within the franchise. And if you don't understand the beginning of the rivalry between the Brando and Joestar lines, then how are you going to really be fully invested in JoJo? Because, part 3, yes, it is also a battle against Dio, but you don't have the prior context to why this battle is so important and why this motherfucker just keeps coming back. So it's super important. And plus, characters in part 3. Like, we mentioned several times throughout this episode, Joseph Joestar. Joseph Joestar, he is the main character of part 2. And we get to see him in his younger years, where he is actually very similar to his grandson, Jotaro, the main protagonist in part 3.
Yep, and Joseph fought fucking ancient vampires from a South American civilization.
Also, I just want to add that those South American vampires have one of the most bomb-ass character themes in all of anime.
Oh yeah, I make those poses pretty much all the time.
Yep. So, it's pretty great. But point being, if you skip out on part 2 in particular,
Well, one, you're gonna miss out on a fucking great part, in my honest opinion.
For sure.
And 2,
For sure.
you don't get to see a very like a Moriarty-Holmes relationship.
And
because Cars and Joseph have this Holmes and Moriarty relationship when it comes to protagonists and antagonists.
And you don't get to see the maturity difference between parts 2 and 3 with Joseph. Now, granted, Joseph still isn't, mature in a traditional sense as an old man. But if you look at him in part 3 in comparison to his more brash, cocky, and arrogant part 2 self, you see just how valuable he is to Jotaro and how the reason why Jotaro values his grandpa so much, more than anybody else. Jotaro doesn't really listen to people. But if Joseph tells Jotaro something, he actually takes those words to heart. And there's a reason for that, because the two of them are very similar as characters. And the reason why part 1 is so important is because you get the fundamental relationship between Jonathan and Dio, which is kind of the pillar of this entire franchise. And also, you get to see that Jonathan is also kind of the foundation of the Joestar ideals, right?
Yeah.
Every single Joestar, from Jonathan all the way up to, Gappy.
Well, let's think of it like this. Yes, Giorno is technically not a Joestar because he's Dio's son in that sense, but the heroic elements of Jonathan, since Dio used Jonathan's body to procreate and make Giorno, the elements of Giorno that Jonathan had was imparted into Giorno as a character.
Yeah, and I think, again, you wouldn't get that, you wouldn't value Giorno as much of as a character if you didn't read or watch part 1, because I think the reason I put Giorno so high as a character, personally, he's my second favorite Joestar, and the reason I say that is because Giorno is literally the perfect fusion between Jonathan and Dio. He has Dio's kind of sense of, I need to do what is necessary to, achieve my goals. But he also has Jonathan's steadfast ideals of, I must protect those that need protecting, the innocent don't need to be dragged into any of this, and I will, do what I can that's within my power to help and heal anyone around me, which is reflective in his own powers with Golden Experience and Golden Experience Requiem. But also, he has that savage side to him, where he just can let out this rage and this power. So much so to the point where he has Dio's, signature battle cry of Muda. But his Muda means something in a completely different context to Dio's Muda. Dio is calling someone useless because he believes he is above everyone else. Giorno calls his opponents Muda because he feels that they are useless pieces of trash that are polluting the world and keeping it from being a better place. So they are useless.
Yeah.
So it's very important to have those foundational parts of part 1. And otherwise, you miss out on a lot of the nuances of later parts.
And plus, part 6 wouldn't even make that much sense in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's very hard to make sense of part 6 in
Well, to
general.
be fair, part
yeah,
6 has a lot of things that it's trying to go with, because Araki was trying to really push the envelope in his storytelling at that time.
And that was originally going to be like the legit end of the story before he came up with the alternate universe idea.
Yep. Because Made in Heaven just does some dumb fuck shit. Which,
Yep.
if you really think about it, Wonder Review really fucks with a lot of main character stands.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, but part 8, do not sleep on part 8, because part 8 is the shit.
It is pretty fucking wild right now. The whole alternate universe, just in general, is super fucking wild.
Essentially, do not skip parts. If you want to watch or read a certain part of JoJo to kind of get your feet into it, that's fine. That's all on you, fam. You can do what you do.
But always remember to go back, because it's important.
Go back, go forward. If you want to read things out of order, as long as you read everything, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, I know, and look, this is coming from a One Piece fan, and I know JoJo can be intimidating to get into because of just the sheer volume of parts, but, once you get into it, you will not be able to stop. Now, granted, it is not for everybody. Some people just can't get into JoJo.
Because some parts, you have big, burly muscle dudes just beating the shit out of each other. Which, yes, it's homoerotic as fuck. But that's okay.
Fine. If you read this and you discover you have a bar fetish, good for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you are. But and plus, Araki can draw some really attractive women.
Oh yeah, dude. 1,000%. Trish's design is fabulous. Lisa, hot fucking notch. Holly is one of the best MILFs in anime. Straight up, Kakyoin had the right idea.
Hell, in part 8, fucking Kyo. Oh my god.
Whew. Yeah, no.
Her whole maid biker aesthetic, mwah. Just perfect.
Do not think Araki's talents are just used for the male characters. No, the females are also pretty fucking great.
And since he started writing JoJo as a seinen series, he is actually able to have his first bisexual character in the form of Funny Valentine's wife.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Also, just a side note, just to anybody who is a JoJo newbie, if you are an animal lover, particularly a dog person, brace yourself.
Because Araki has gone on record to saying the reason why dogs get eyes so fucking much is because it allows us to hate the villain more.
Yep.
It's a joke in the community that Araki just hates dogs. He doesn't.
He does not. No, it's the most, in his mind, that's the most deplorable act that a human can commit. And
Is
so
to hurt an animal, especially good boys. Like, you don't hurt doggos. Just don't do it. Yeah, sure, some doggos look mean and scary, but they're not.
Yep, every dog's a good boy at heart. But yeah, so that's our whole opinion on this JoJo controversy. Like I said,
I wouldn't say it's technically not a controversy. It's just the hottest take to ever take in terms of JoJo stuff.
And like I said, we'll go back and we'll watch the video for full context, so that we can like report back and kind of give our full opinions.
Yep, and sometimes Jeff Thu can suck my nuts if he thinks that he can lord over any opinion.
Say, we don't want to do Jeff dirty and like misrepresent him by not having the full context of his opinion.
Right, and plus this man makes some hot takes that he takes back when it comes to Twitter.
Yep.
So shitting on his decisions is kind of funny to me, and I'm a slave to just poking fun at people, albeit too much at times. I admit.
I definitely enjoy countering his hot takes because they are some pretty spicy takes.
I mean, one thing that I will admit that he does right is that apparently, according to him, Misfit is the second coming of One Punch Man.
No, that definitely feels right.
I mean, that's not. I mean, in a way, it's a hot take, but it's something I don't disagree with.
No, that definitely feels right. And look, this isn't us hating on Jeff as a person or a creator, because honestly, the man is good. He's good shit.
I mean, for the most part, yes, but he is a person that can be pretty toxic at times. And I'm someone who
we both kind of aspire to have content on that level, because I mean, say what you want about his opinion, but his production values are pretty fucking amazing.
He has clean production values. Yes. Yeah, most of the people that we just like to poke fun at and just talk shit about, they have better production value than this fucking show does.
I mean, yeah, no.
I mean, it's just two nerds just talking at each other over the internet in a podcast format.
But hey, we have a blast, and that's what counts.
Yeah, and it's just, when you get a bunch of us like-minded individuals together, we get on our tangents. We go on tirades. Where we talk about shit for almost 2 hours. And where the whole purpose for this show is to review anime. But, point being, we just do things because we love what we do.
Yep.
And once someone takes a hot take, it's pretty much our job to kind of give our thoughts on said hot take and kind of like set our record straight and try to at least impart some
because
wisdom.
I mean, we might be small fish in the big pond that is the anime community overall, but we are still members of the community, and we feel like we gotta throw our 2 cents in.
Yep. Even though people may not watch it, which is fine, I get it. Some of these episodes are over an hour long. This one being over 2 hours.
But this is just what happened when.
Yes,
I
admit.
was gonna say.
It's a bit much just to watch weekly reviews in podcast format. I get it.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just what happens when 2 of us who are extremely talky people get together. Mm-hmm. Usually we have Jordan to rein us in, but Jordan is not here, and so we are unfettered. And
we just spout nonsense for the most part. That's kind of tangentially connected to what we're initially talking about.
But at least it's connected enough.
Mm-hmm.
This is our brand, and you know what? If you've watched enough episodes of this show, you know it by now. If this is your first episode and you've made it all the way to the end, we applaud.
Thank you.
You are.
I appreciate
it.
I appreciate that you like to put up with my voice for the most part.
Listen, if we could give you a cookie, we would.
Oh, yeah.
You truly deserve it.
Hell, I would just send you lasagna if I have to.
Oh, man.
And I can make some pretty bomb lasagna, let's be real here.
Alright, and on that tangent, I think it's time to close out, Tony.
Alright, so, folks, follow Jay on his Twitch, where he streams FGO a lot throughout the day, which would be around 1 o'clock my time, and whatever time...
Yep, 4 o'clock 4 o'clock Eastern, 10, and then 1 o'clock on the West Coast.
Yep, so...
I stream, like Tony said, I stream FGO Monday through Thursday.
And hopefully we'll be starting a Yu-Gi-Oh! Stream where Jay, Brian, and myself just duel each other for like a hot hour.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have like mini Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments. It's going to be a blast. Hopefully the audience receives it well. And even if they don't, if we're having fun, we're going to keep it going.
Yep.
But yeah,
hell, if I
can
can keep this show for almost 100 episodes, then fuck yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be a fun time.
Also, check out his YouTube channel. It's some good shit. You get to see...
the YouTube channel is Jay's Chaldea. And I call it that because, it was initially created to be an FGO-centric YouTube channel, but then I was like, I need a more consistent form of content since I don't roll as often because I'm only a mere dolphin and not a mighty whale.
Yes, because I am the mightiest of whales.
So...
I'm like a good humpback whale. I'm a humpback whale. I'm not like a blue whale.
Yeah, so I needed more consistent content, so I decided to, since FGO is an anime game, I figured, I would do anime reviews and cover anime news as well. So if you're interested, if you like what I do here, and want to see less tangents, and in a more clean and precise format, definitely subscribe to Jay's Chaldea.
Yep, I'll try to
have a good time over there.
put Jay's content in the description box down below. And if you're willing to actually just comment on this episode, do that too. Just, do the usual YouTube shit. Because if you like what I do and want me to be in the algorithm, yeah, just like, subscribe, leave a comment, hit your notification bell, all that shit. I know y'all don't like to hear it because I know some of you are intelligent individuals. But still, for the sake of, because the philosophy of everyone's video is their first video, apparently.
Yep, it is really, really necessary to maintain channels within the algorithm. Like, Tony's not joking around. Susan don't play.
Yeah, Susan likes to give most smaller channels the raw number.
Yep.
And she doesn't even lube us up first.
Thank you guys for tuning into this, extra tangenty episode. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yep.
We'll catch you next week.
Alright. Later, guys.